Goodhue, Minnesota, a small city in the southeastern part of the state of Minnesota, lost its entire police force after the chief and every other member of the department handed in their resignation. Police Chief Josh Smith told the city officials, "I can't find anyone who'll sign up to join our police force." Watch this.
There's zero incentive to come out here to a small town, low pay, being on call, affecting your free time and everything else. Like I said, this has been 3 weeks now. We got 0 applicants, and I have 0 prospects. I've called every PD around for the youngest guys out there getting into the game. There's nobody getting into the game. And the ones that are scrapped up immediately and go into the cities. They're hiring them right off the bat. They're hiring them out of college. Like, they're not even graduated yet, and they're already getting offers. How is anybody going to compete with any of this? So we're running into issues like that. So unless we can, if we want to keep the PD, okay, and as I've always said, I'm here for you guys. If you want to keep the PD, and this is something where we want to continue going with, something that needs to change dramatically and drastically, and it's got to happen now.
I don't know if you heard and felt the exasperation of the chief in that video. He's standing in front of the city council members, and you can tell it's not the first time he's brought this up. You get the sense they've kicked the can down the road. He literally laughs as he's describing all of the things these police officers, even in a small town, have to do. How much they have to sacrifice. How much of their life is interrupted in the form of service for very low pay and probably little praise. Speaking of praise, at least to the story we've read, one Goodhue City Council member, Chris Schmidt, praised the police force for maintaining law. He said, "I can probably speak for everyone when I say that they provided excellent safety and security to our community. And the small town policing that they did, we want that back." Good for you, Chris. But you probably knew that this was a problem. You probably knew that you were facing this potential crisis, and it is a crisis. I don't care how small Goodhue, Minnesota is. They don't have a police force for right now. It's time for them to step up. This crisis in Goodhue, Minnesota, I believe, could be the tip of the iceberg. Am I a Chicken Little? The sky is falling? No. A recent Police Executive Research Forum survey shows that police agencies are losing officers faster than they can hire. Are you shocked? I'm not. So how did we get here? The gross misconduct, and I mean gross, abhorrent, dreadful, awful, despicable misconduct of some police officers in this nation was politicized by a loud but small group of activists to first demonize all of the women and men who serve us so well in our police forces across this great nation. And secondly, they politicized the bad actions to promote a wildly irrational and nonsensical policy of defunding police forces. Now, let me pause briefly to say that I condemn any action, whether by a police officer or just a citizen, that abuses the dignity of a human being. Abuses the dignity. That means the way they're talked to, physically treated, whether they were beaten mercilessly or not. There is a standard by which all of us, including police officers, must treat others, and that is with dignity. But just because some unhealthy police officers, some scared, panicked police officers who chose to do something abhorrent, doesn't mean that we apply that standard, that all police officers are just walking around triggered, waiting to do something bad. But that is the standard. That is the broad brush that a lot of police officers, sheriff's deputies, public safety officers, they're walking around almost as if they should be ashamed. But our overwhelmingly good public safety officers are the best of us. They are people who care deeply about defending the vulnerable and shielding people from danger. They want to make sure that people and property in their community are safe. They're always aware of the threats to us, and they come alive when they have to stand up to the bad guys. They're the best of us. Protecting and serving others in any form or fashion, and certainly in police work, is good and honorable work. It is valuable and it is needed. So what must be done in Goodhue, Minnesota and all across America? Well, our local and state politicians need to do what they were elected to do, what you elected them to do. How about you stop shaking hands, kissing babies, and cutting ribbons? And why don't you start rolling up your sleeves, getting in a room and getting into the Excel spreadsheets to find the funds to attract, hire, and keep the women and men who want to protect us all. It can be done, even in Goodhue, Minnesota. I'd get in there and we'd cut some things out of the budget. We'd find the money to go get all of those men and women who just quit and say, hey, number one, we're sorry. Number two, we want you back and we're going to show you. Why does this matter? Because if we don't have protectors on the job, we won't have anything left to protect. So I have one question for you, the audience. How do you think we need to solve this problem? I'll see you in the comments.